Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Startup Sense podcast. This is your host, Jonah Lupton. Thank you so much for joining us today. Got a great episode with you. We're going to be speaking to Jamie Morea. She is the co founder, along with her husband, of a company called Hyperbiotics. The website is hyperbiotics.com, which you'll see in the intro on the website. Um, you can follow along. They have a bunch of products listed on their website. I think Jamie told me there's about 11 different products. She wouldn't give exact numbers of revenue, which I can certainly understand, but she did say that they've sold over 1 million bottles of their flagship product, which kind of puts them somewhere north of $20 million in total sales. So certainly a legit company. Company's actually based in Henderson, Nevada, but since they're a fully distributed team with about 35 employees, only about 60% of their employees are in the US, 20% in the UK, and then 20% outside of the US and outside of the UK. No two employees, except for her and her husband, I assume, work in the same location. That's what I mean by fully distributed. They have not raised any outside capital, so her and her husband still own 100% of the company. They began working on these formulas back in 2013 after Jamie had a health scare, and then they began selling these products back in 2014. So in essentially 3 years or less, they've done over 20 million in sales. So I'm excited to hear what Jamie has to say in terms of what they're doing to drive all that growth. Jamie, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you. It's good to be here.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. And just so the audience knows, you are calling us from where today?
I'm actually in the Italian Alps right now. We're kind of on it's more of a working holiday than a holiday, but it's gorgeous.
And even though the company's based in Nevada, you spend a lot of your time in Europe, right? You spend some time in Spain as well.
I do. We actually live in Spain. We've traveled a lot. We are sort of nomadic at our core, and we're based in Spain at the moment, and have quite a few team members in Europe and in the UK. So we're fortunate enough that we can work from anywhere in today's day and age. So we do.
You're kind of living that entrepreneurial dream. That's kind of my dream too, to build a company, travel the world while you're still able to run it from wherever you are, as long as you have internet access.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, so talk to us about, why did you start this company? You started telling me in the pre-call, but I wanted you to mention it to the audience. What was the inspiration for starting Hyperbiotics?
Yeah, so a few years back, we were traveling and I got really sick with a parasite. And I was in bed actually for 6 months and saw all sorts of specialists. And at first, no one could even identify what was wrong with me. Um, and so I slowly started to take matters into my own hands and finally found a specialist in Manhattan who was able to give me a proper diagnosis. And along the way, I started learning and researching all about gut health and our microbes, and how science is just uncovering that we're actually only 10% human and 90% microbial. And it's these microorganisms that are responsible for so many of our bodily functions, including our immune system. And as I learned that information, I also learned about all of the things that are detrimental to our gut bacteria, and then compared that with my upbringing, and I just did not have a healthy gut. I wasn't breastfed as a child. I had a horrible diet growing up, which I'm sure a lot of people can relate to, because that was the trend back in the 80s. And just had round and round of antibiotics. I had a lot of ear infections, throat infections, pneumonia, you name it. So I started to learn that all of those factors actually do a number on your gut bacteria, and that is what most likely made me susceptible to getting a parasite. So through this journey, I began to feel, one, empowered for my own health and learning about ways that I could rectify the situation, and learning about probiotics and their role and how we can repopulate our gut bacteria. And then as I was looking for what probiotics to take, and I started to learn what makes a probiotic effective, I began to uncover that a lot of the probiotics on the market aren't effective. they're either dead by the time you take them because they can't withstand life on the shelf, or they can't withstand your stomach acids. And then actually 96% of living probiotic bacteria that you consume will be killed by your stomach acids.
Wow.
So one
Okay.
thing led to another. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. One thing led to another, and I just felt called to share this information with other people, because it was a complete lifestyle shift for me once I understood how to live in harmony with my microbes, and wanted to make a superior probiotic. So that's the journey that I set out on, and we actually use a patented time-release delivery method that protects the probiotic organisms as it passes through your stomach acids. So 60% of our bacteria make it through your stomach acids as opposed to 4%. So that's how it started, and really we say at our company that selling probiotics is just our cover, because our real mission is to help people on their journey toward better health and to help them understand what lifestyle choices lead to feeling their best each day.
So my
That's
next
a bit about
question,
who we are.
was going to be, as the typical person, once they realize they need to take a probiotic, would look to see what's on the market and then just pick their favorite one or pick the one that was recommended. But it sounds like you did that and you just didn't feel like there was a good enough product on the market, which is why I assume you felt the need to create one. It sounds like that's
Yeah,
you.
definitely.
So what happened?
Definitely. Say that one more time.
What happened next? I mean, how did you go from idea, I need to create this because the market needs it, to, let's start working on some formulas and find a manufacturer? How did that all happen?
Yeah. So we started working with an R&D team, and it was interesting because the industry has its standards and processes, and we were such newbies that we actually started asking naive questions, but that led to really interesting results. So, things that had never been done before. Why can't we combine this strain with this strain? Oh, well, I guess you could. Okay, well, the problem is that we lack bacterial diversity. So why would someone have a probiotic formula with only one strain in it when we actually need so many different strains? Can we make a formula with 15 different strains? Sure, let's talk about that. Okay, so our flagship formula has 15 diverse strains, which is another thing that sets it apart and makes it so much more effective for people, and people experience better results because they're not just repopulating their diverse ecosystem of bacteria with one good bacteria, they're repopulating it with 15. So it really worked out to our advantage to think of things in a fresh light. And we worked alongside microbiologists, and until we started with Pro 15, which is our flagship formula. And we use the patented time-release delivery method. And it's also in a tiny pearl shape, so it's quite easy to swallow for some people who don't like swallowing pills. And then we found our manufacturing partner. They're based in Seattle, and we grow the strains in Washington State, and then we tablet them in Colorado. And that was pretty much it. And then we actually, another big part of our process, because we felt compelled to share this complex scientific information with consumers in a very practical and easy to understand way, is developing content. So actually much of our marketing strategy has just been education. And if you look on our website, we have a blog with hundreds of articles where we've taken the latest studies and we've broken it down and we've said what this means for you. So really, we're in the business of education and empowerment, and having an effective formula helps, but you have to be able to explain it and for people to understand conceptually why it is better. And so I guess that would sum up how we got started.
Okay. Yeah, because that was, you just answered my next question, which was going to be, there are many probiotics on the market, and I think you've certainly led us to believe that some of them aren't up to the quality that they should be. And you have a premium product here, but still, I don't think too many probiotics companies out there are doing $20 million in sales in 3 years. So what's driven that growth? It Sounds like content is one of it, educating people. What else are you guys doing
Yeah.
on the marketing front?
So the things that have driven the growth are definitely education, but people actually notice a difference. I think I don't remember last, but I think we have over 5 or maybe even 10,000 reviews on Amazon.
Jeez, wow.
Um,
And when you
People
say notice the
really,
difference, how do they notice it? They feel different?
yeah, it's across the board. It's um, their digestion's better, their immune system's better, they're losing weight, their skin is better. It's, our gut flora is actually the core of our health. It even impacts your mood, your how you sleep at night. If you're irritable, it affects your memory. It's pretty wild, the science that's come out in the last 10 years around the importance of gut health. And the thing is our lifestyles haven't, our culture has not been, our habits aren't based on this new knowledge. So there's a paradigm shift happening as we gain this knowledge, and as it seeps into us, we're going to be changing our lifestyle behaviors, because so many of our practices over the last 80 years have been detrimental to our microbes, and now we're learning that we're paying a price for that, and a lot of the chronic conditions that we're experiencing are directly correlated to our gut health.
So it sounds like because people, such a large percentage of your customers feel different, feel better, you must get a ton of repeat business, right?
Yeah, we have I think we have 20,000 people on Amazon who subscribe on a monthly basis.
Wow. I didn't know you could do that through Amazon. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
you
guess I'm not
can.
surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a ton of repeat business. I mean, there are people who can't go a day without it because they notice such a difference. But we also
I'm gonna
have
get on
an
your website after this
exceptional,
call and order some for myself.
yeah, yeah, give me your address. We'll send you a gift basket.
Because I mean, I take a lot of supplements. I mean, everything from fish oil and flaxseed oil and B complex and everything else. I mean, I pop probably 15 pills every morning, but I do not take a probiotic. And after reading
Wow,
some of your
that's
blog stuff,
surprising.
I agree. I mean, and I have had issues with my immune system and digestion and sleep and everything else. And it's like
Wow.
I'm wondering maybe this is the thing that's been missing from my life. So
Right.
we'll find
Well,
out soon.
and probiotics actually improve nutrient absorption, so they'll make all of your other supplements more effective.
Oh, that's good too. Yeah, I mean, I have heard people tell me this before. I actually have a friend on Facebook that does a lot of these like Facebook live chats, and recently he's been talking a lot about gut health. And I haven't necessarily tuned into it, but I've seen the notifications. So there's people out there that are trying to be more educated, and I can see where that's a big driver of growth for you guys. So I mean, but just in terms of marketing, you guys must do Facebook ads and Instagram ads and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, we've actually recently really started to focus more on digital marketing. Initially, we didn't. It was really more word of mouth, and we have an exceptional customer support philosophy and team. If you send us a question or even leave a review, we respond to almost every single review on Amazon, and we really engage with our customers. So I think that has also fueled a lot of the word of mouth activity that we've seen. But we have recently decided we should really develop our digital marketing efforts. So we've actually put some people in place there.
So talk about your team. So 35 people. I would assume you probably have a couple technical people on the team, developers, designers, etc. But I would think the majority of people are non-technical, correct?
Yeah, we have a operations, logistics, wholesale, fulfillment, customer support. We have several writers on our team. Let's see, we have our
I'll
digital
stop.
marketing
I'll
team.
stop you there for a second. I mean, because we keep talking about content, and I think this is important for people that are listening, that are starting a company and trying to determine how much money they should invest in content. How do you determine how many writers and how much content to put out there, and what's the ROI on this content, and how do you track it? Can you talk to us
You
about
know,
some of that stuff?
yeah, definitely. It's slightly indirect, and it's a longer term approach. There's a great book called Epic Content Marketing. It's really fantastic. We just, honestly, we just believe in it, and we feel so compelled toward it that it's less about tracking the ROI for us, but it has, I'm sure it has paid off. It's just harder to track.
Right.
I contribute on Mind Body Green and Thrive Global and a couple of other sites as well as a writer on gut health. But for us, it just fuels our vision, our passion of spreading this information and helping people helping facilitate this paradigm shift that's already happening. But with that said, even though we haven't tracked the ROI, it's not trackable in a very direct way. I just strongly believe in content marketing, because that's marketing is changing the face, right? Like, people are tuning out advertisements, and it's more about, they're learning from social shares, and people want knowledge, they want value, and when you provide that, it pays off.
Right.
Pure and simple.
Yeah. People don't want ads stuck in their face telling them what product they should buy. They want either review sites or honest genuine articles that can empower
Improve
them
their
to make
lives.
the right decision.
Yeah.
Talk to us about your sales strategy, and that includes, I guess, distribution and Amazon and retail. Like, where are people buying your products?
So people are buying our products. We're in Target stores nationwide, and we've been the best-selling supplement on Amazon for the last 3 years.
Incredible.
So there's a lot of Amazon sales. We have actually a lot of sales from our website as well. I think that as people find us, because we have a subscription program on our site also, so they'll find their way to our website, and then they'll just start purchasing directly from us. We also partner with a lot of practitioners, more holistically minded practitioners. So several different types of practitioners as well. Offices across the country will sell our products. Those are the key places. We have other websites that we're on, like iHerb, Lucky Vitamin, and other sites like that. But those are the key places. We don't have a particular retail strategy. Actually, Target came to us. It wasn't something that was on our radar. Yeah, and retail is interesting because for us, we have less control over. We want to make sure that our customers get the freshest product. So you just have less control when it's sitting on the shelf, and then you're competing. You have to often spend a lot of money to, be on the end cap or be featured in the newspaper, whatever. And we just don't have the same budget as Bayer for that sort of thing. So it's just, retail doesn't make as much sense for us, and we enjoy engaging more with our customers. Another thing is that we are very socially conscious, and for Target, we did have to make boxes for our products to go in, and it was really hard for us to do that because we don't want to have additional waste if we don't feel it's necessary. So there's just pros and cons. We did also add an information booklet into the boxes in Target because normally we have access to email more information, tips for storage and use, what to expect, etc., because we have a relationship with our customer, but at Target we don't. So we wanted to make sure that we're able to get that key information into their hands somehow.
So were you very apprehensive about going into retail because of those reasons, but the opportunity with Target is just too hard to pass up?
Right. Yeah. We decided if we were going to do retail at all, Target was what we would want to do because they are really trying to take a health forward stance, and they're trying to align themselves with more edgy progressive brands right now. And they're not so premium that the average person doesn't have access to what they sell. So it really felt like a great fit for us. But again, if they hadn't come to us, we would not have approached them.
Now, did you guys do a, I don't, I think you're the first guest I've had on. I've had 200 plus guests that's in Target. I guess maybe I could think of a couple others, but we never really got into it. Did you guys test on some stores or do a region, or how did the rollout happen?
We actually rolled out in 1,800 stores all at once.
Holy, holy crap. So how,
Yeah,
okay, that's
I know.
actually perfect then. How did you deal with oh crap. How did you deal with the inventory then? And I know some people are scared to go into retail because it's the net 60 or net 90 where they're supplying all the product up front and they don't get paid back for 2 or 3 months. So how did you guys work around all those issues?
Yeah, Target actually they're pretty win-win. They're a really good partner to have, but the projecting is quite difficult because, well, first of all, retail sales are just really low. I mean, the volumes they do are just incredibly low. We sell more in one day on Amazon than we sell in a week in all Target stores.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess people I mean that surprises me. Why is that?
It's just, it's the retail giant. People are moving away from retail and moving online, and it's just it's pretty shocking. But so projecting was hard because they gave us what we should expect, and we thought that's crazy, that's so low. It takes us 3 months to grow our probiotic strains, so we have to really forecast quite far in advance. So we're like, that's so low. We have to, we have to account for more. Surely it's not going to be that low. And they were pretty right. So, we overshot. We have extra inventory. It's going to take, we're doing some giveaways at events and whatnot, but it's a lesson learned.
Is it worth dealing with retail? Like if Walmart came to you, would you
We
would you
would,
want to go into Walmart?
I don't think we would go into Walmart, but just because I don't feel it aligns as much with our brand. But to be honest,
But
I think
Jet.com is owned by Walmart now, which I know you mentioned to me that
right,
you will be on Jet.com
right,
soon, right? Okay.
right. Yes, we will. Yeah, I think for us, we just prefer the control that we have when we're interacting directly with our customers. We're so happy to be in Target, but we're also happy to exclusively be in Target.
Right, right. No, and I'm sure they probably like that too. That's one of their, one of the reasons they
Yes,
want to work with you is it's somewhat exclusive then. Um,
right.
Talk to us about, I mean, there's a lot, okay, so a few questions I want to throw at you. One is, what are the pros and cons of having a distributed team?
Hmm. Well, the pros are incredible, and I would say that both my husband and myself had previous businesses, separate businesses, and we were always remote. So it's kind of the only world we know, and we're big travelers. We don't sit still in one location for very long. So for us, having an office is simply not possible. It would feel very restrictive. Um, so the pros for us are freedom and autonomy, and I'm actually quite an introvert, so I like to hide behind my computer screen. If I had to go in and work in an office, I just think it would take away a lot of who I am. The other pro is that we have access to talent around the globe.
Right.
We're not limited to a local pool, so we've been able to find the most incredible people. We have our team is such a high performing team, and our company culture is so tight knit and so positive and connected. It's fascinating. We had a few of our initial team members who I attribute their incredible ability at cultivating culture to our entire team's company culture. But we use tools like Slack and Trello to feel connected, and it's incredible. I probably haven't met 80% of our team, but they feel like family to me, even though we haven't met in person.
So I go into Amazon and I type in probiotic and I get 4,800 results. And
Yeah.
I see yours, the Pro 15, listed in one of the top rows as a bestseller. So how have you hacked? And that's not necessarily the right word, but hacked Amazon to, and is it all just based on total sales? Like out of all the 4,800 results, you guys show up in the top, five or six. How have you been able to get up there and stay there?
Yeah. So I'm not sure, and no one is completely sure of how Amazon's algorithm works.
Yep.
But it is definitely connected to sales and
Reviews.
to seller rating. Yeah, seller rating and reviews. And we do have a lot of reviews and we have a lot of sales, and I think that's what sustains us. We at the same time we respond. I believe we respond to every review that is not a 5-star. That's a lot of reviews, and we respond with valuable information. So we really take the time. We actually care a lot about our customers, and if you contact us, you hear back straight away. There are real people on the other side with very helpful information. So I think that's been a lot of it, is people just feel heard and valued, and then of course they have a good experience with our products.
Yeah, it looks like so here it looks like 66, almost 6,700 reviews, a 4.5-star rating. None of these probiotics have a 5, so you have the highest rating of any of
Right.
them, and you have the second most reviews of anybody. So yeah, I would certainly think that those are two criteria that go into that algorithm. Just like Facebook's algorithm is a secret, yeah, the Amazon one seems to be
Yeah.
kind of a secret too. I mean, it's we can certainly induce what it probably is, but um, talk to us about what are the pros. Okay, we did the pros and cons of distributed team. I don't know if we really talked about the cons, but I'll skip to the next one, which is what are the pros and cons of working with your husband and having you know a husband
That's
and
a
wife
great
team.
question. That's a fantastic question. Um, well, first of all, I have to say we never would have intentionally gone into business together because it just seems like a terrible idea. But it just happened. It came to us. We didn't set out to do it, and it's actually been incredible. We have very different and very complementary strengths and skills. So it's been a dream, but I still don't recommend it because you never know how it will work out, and I wouldn't have recommended it to me. It just happened. So the pros are endless. We also have a toddler now, so it's also so helpful to have someone who can be on when you're off. So, if something needs doing, he can step in or I can step in, and the other is with the baby or, taking care of whatever needs to happen. So that's really helpful. What are the cons? I would say the hardest thing is switching off because we're both entrepreneurial at heart, and we get really excited about things, and we always want, we love creating, we love building, we love having our hands in the clay. So we're always having new ideas and wanting to do more and bigger. And so I would say that's difficult, is to be able to maintain balance so that we don't inevitably burn ourselves out. um, yeah, I think that would be the most challenging part. And then, our baby was born 3 months premature, so it was a little bit of a scary scenario, and we were in the hospital for a very long time. And while managing a rapidly growing company, that's really challenging because you're both gutted and busy, and your minds are somewhere else, but you still have our other baby, which is the company. So I guess, not being in the same place always can be challenging because you don't have one that can pick up the slack.
Now, I mentioned in the intro that your company Hyperbiotics has not raised any outside capital over the past 3 years. Have you thought about raising money from investors, or have you been approached by investors?
We have been approached a lot, but we're we I think we're a little bit old fashioned. We really like not feeling like we have a boss or someone with a stake that we have to report to. We like the freedom that comes along with that. My husband had a company previously that he did have investors, and he didn't have the best experience. So I think for him, the fact that we were able to not have to have outside investors was really helpful. It's something that he wanted to do, and we've just managed to self-fund and to grow, and it's worked out really well. We've been really lucky in that sense to get to experience it this way.
So I've had someone that, I have a friend that does acquisitions for larger companies looking to acquire smaller companies. And he told me that I don't know, a good target is 10 and 2, meaning 10 million in revenue with 2 million in profits. That's kind of the point where larger companies, can rationalize making an acquisition and where it may make sense for both parties. Have you guys been approached by any potential acquirers?
We have. We're actually approached quite frequently.
You
And
just like
we've
saying no to
just
people,
been,
right?
yeah, we just feel like there's still a lot we want to do. So we're not at that place. We might, who knows, we might be around the corner, but so far we're having a great time, and we still don't feel like our mission, I guess, is complete.
What would have to change for you to say yes to someone?
That's a good question. I think that the industry overall is changing quite rapidly because of the new information. I mean, this entire field is only 10 years old. So as we get more information, we're going to be able to, develop even more targeted probiotic strains for very specific applications. And I think that pharmaceutical companies are going to get more involved. And I would think that if the right strategic partner that we felt had, deeper pockets and better R&D and, was leading the way into the future and would give our company wings that we can't give it, I think that at that point we might be interested.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. In terms of hiring, are you currently hiring for any open positions?
We are. We're currently hiring, let's see, we're hiring customer support roles. We're hiring a social media coordinator. I think that's it right now.
And those people can be anywhere, right?
Yeah, they can.
Cool. What did we skip over? Anything you want to mention? Or I guess one of the typical questions I ask is, what have been the biggest challenges for the company over the last 3 years?
So my husband and I, like I said, are both quite entrepreneurial, and we really are kind of the just get it done, like do it. Instead of
Stop
talking about it, having a meeting about it,
Right.
having a meeting about it, planning it, having another meeting about it, we'll just do it. So I think for us, it's been interesting working with such a large team where there's just more processes and there's just needs to be more structure and things don't happen as quickly. That's been really interesting for us. It's just not our personalities. So we have a senior management team that's kind of the buffer between us and everyone else, because we are just, we shoot out ideas and want to run with it, and they slow us down and help turn it into a project with timelines and, help make it more bite-sized for people.
So what are the 2 or 3 things that you've done right over the last 3 years to help this company grow to 20 plus million in sales?
Things that we've done right. I think being customer centric for sure, because people are not used to being cared about and being heard. And I think there's another great book called Word of Mouth Marketing that is fantastic. And it's true, when the 5% of unhappy people that contact you are your opportunity to convert them. And if you do, they become your evangelist and they will go and tell 10 people each. And we have completely centered our company around our customer support philosophy. In fact, 50% of our company started in customer support because we said everyone goes through customer support training, but in the beginning, we said you cannot understand who we are if you don't work in customer support first. So everyone started there. So I think that is something we've done very right. And we our goal is not how fast can you get off the phone. It's actually how fast can you stay on the phone. And we have a program in place where our customer support team has a budget, and we challenge them to meet the budget because it's hard to find enough people, but to give gifts, or, someone will call and say, I'm in the hospital. I just had a premature baby and I need your probiotics for nursing moms. I need it. And can you overnight it? And so we'll not only overnight it, we'll do it for free. We'll send them a lactation tea as a gift and a baby blanket, or, whatever. We really try to, when people reach out to us, we feel like that's our opportunity to create a very special
above and beyond.
relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you want, and this is why, I mean, because if they ever go to Amazon, or, I mean, okay, right. I mean, you don't want them to even think about ordering a probiotic from another company. I mean, you want their experience to be so good with the company that it's a non-brainer. Because, I mean, of course, other companies are going to try to sell their product cheaper at times or do different discounts. But, I'm the same way. Once I find a brand that I like, I stick with it for many, many years. And that goes for supplements, that goes for skincare products, everything. I'm not one of these guys that jumps around every month and needs to try every new product. Like, once I find something I like, it works, let's stick with it.
Right. So I think our customer support philosophy, and I would say our content strategy as well, because it comes from a good place, and I think people sense it. They just sense that we're out to improve their lives instead of just trying to sell something.
Right. And I know you've mentioned that you have some other products in the works. So this is, I guess, the last question, and then I'll let you get back to your day. But how do you guys think about product development and R&D?
That's a good question. So a lot of it is based on new research that comes out. If for example, a clinical study was just done on this particular strain that our R&D team discovered, that shows that it helps improve the athlete's health, so their immune health. Athletes are very prone to upper respiratory issues, and it actually helps reduce those incidences. So we have an athlete formula in the works. So it kind of works like that, yeah.
Yes, I can tell I'm going to be a very good customer of yours for a long time. So
that sounds great. Seriously, get me your address.
That you're dealing with, I have. So, well, this has been fantastic, Jamie. Really appreciate your time today. Obviously, you guys are doing a lot of things right. You've had a ton of success. I hope it continues for you, and look forward to staying in touch with you. What's the best way?
Thanks so much.
Obviously, people go to your website. They can buy the products there. And then in terms of the blog, I know that's on the website. What about any social media? Where can people follow you or connect with you?
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter.
Cool. All over. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jamie. Wish you the best. Have fun in Italy, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.